there are so many different service providers who ultimately are my competitors, I suppose, but that's not the case. We all go to Women in Payments, we all go out for drinks together because we're women first, and then we're women first, we're payments second, and we're competitors third. And that's really refreshing. Initially, people would say, oh God, you work in payments, that sounds really boring. But actually, everybody wants to pay and get paid.
Yeah.
So it's central to everything that we do, and it's so important for, it's so important for me to understand what's happening in this complicated world of finance and from a personal point of view. But the payments industry also, don't forget, is very incestuous. So once you start at one payments company, you build up those strong team relationships, stakeholder relationships. So for marketing, that's obviously the sales guys, but that's also product. And you in marketing are the kind of the linchpin that gets that all together. So once you built those relationships, those are ones that you cherish because you work so closely together. And I would also say precisely because payments is so niche, it also requires you to be an industry specialist yourself. So while I worked in marketing within oil and gas, I wasn't an expert in oil and gas, right? When you're a marketing person within payments, if you're good, then you also need to be an expert on things like ISO 20022, on cross-border payments, on real-time payments. And again, I talked to you about SaaS. So I'm a marketing person, but I can go off and I can deliver a presentation on any of these subjects along the same lines as a lot of these experts within the banks. And so once you've attained that level of knowledge, then it seems churlish to then move to another industry. Because
knowledge is power, right?
Knowledge is power. And people know who I am in payments, and that matters to me. I'm a very attention-seeking individual.
Aren't we all?
on that note, I get what you're saying about payments being quite it's quite a sort of closed, and it's almost familial. Like there's a family element. We know each other. What is it about that part of it, how kind of close-knit it is, that appeals to you, and why do you think that is? I'm sounding like a psychologist now.
Well, no, I think I touched on it a little bit before when I'm talking about relationships. So I work in B2B because I like people. If I didn't, I'd work in B2C and I'd go to loads of parties, and that would be brilliant. B2B, you work there so that you can develop these close-knit relationships, whether that's with people like you on the media side, whether it's indeed internal with all my stakeholders, or with industry experts, or indeed with customers. So what's enduring about that is that once you build a relationship, I know that these guys are going to be my colleagues, but but also my friends for the next 20, 30 years. I mean, take one of your colleagues, Sean, for instance. Initially, when I had a phone call from Fintech Finance, I had lots of people that I could have chosen, but I engaged with him on a personal level. He took the time to work out how I would respond and did so accordingly. And now you're one of our largest or most important media partners, and that's to do with the relationship. And Sean comes to my birthday parties, and you were invited.
And it's a great laugh, isn't it?
And you were invited too, but you it was your son's birthday party, so you couldn't come.
Yeah, I couldn't come. Because you share a birthday with my wife as well.
Oh, yeah. Exactly, all right. So it is those relationships, and women in payments is a big deal too. So I'm not going to be the bra-burning feminist. That's not what this is about. But especially at Sibos, where we're talking about diversity and sustainability, diversity obviously does talk about women. And there is a very strong ethos within payments to help women in payments to progress, whether that's women mentoring other women or getting the recognition within the sort of executive level. And there are so many different service providers who ultimately are my competitors, I suppose, but that's not the case. We all go to Women in Payments, we all go out for drinks together because we're women first, and then we're women first, we're payments second, and we're competitors third. And that's really refreshing.